audio thoughts with Prince on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Subscribe to the channel, follow us on all our social media platforms. You're on Instagram, Prince Miller Entertainment, Facebook, Prince Miller Entertainment, Facebook group, Prince Miller Entertainment TV. We're also on Twitter, it's a P Miller ENT. Welcome to another edition of audio thoughts with Prince on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Guys, this is say today is the 1st of August 2021. Happy new month. We welcome new subscribers who are watching us for the first time. Big up to you. Salute. And to all our loyal subscribers who have been with us since day one. Big up to you guys. Salute. And guys, so today I have this situation that I need to talk about, and Inyaya and the ZANU-PF or the government actually accusing the West and of regime change in Zimbabwe. I mean, this is not the first time that we have heard this. We've heard this since Mugabe time, and every time Mugabe get a chance to talk, and whether with Pyros Eka or just a campaign whatsoever, they will be mentioning the West. Does the West really wants to have a regime change in Zimbabwe? Cannot be just a propaganda. Just one politicians. So our Defense and War Veterans Affairs Minister Muchinguru Kashiri has criticized Western countries for advancing a regime change agenda through funding opposition aligned non-governmental organization. She said this on Thursday while presenting a paper on the challenges faced by the National Security Council in national defense planning and development to the students of the National Defense course at the Zimbabwe National Defense University. Minister Muchinguru Kashiri said the West had been unrelenting in its attempts to overthrow the ZANU-PF lead government. The West has done this through sinister activities that include funding of opposition political parties and non-governmental organizations pursuing opposition agendas, the unilateral imposition of illegal economic sanctions on Zimbabwe, and attempts to influence the outcome of the elections in the country, among others. Regime change continue to be witnessed up to this day, with events from the opposition from testifying to their convenience with the West, particularly those that imposed illegal sanctions on Zimbabwe. She says the regime change agenda, said Minister Muchinguru Kashiri, almost climaxed in 2007 when West countries attempt to legalize their illegal economic sanctions by bringing Zimbabwe's case as an agenda item to the United Nations Security Council. In 2003, the West's intrusive maneuvers saw the Zimbabwean taking the bold decision of withdrawing from the Commonwealth to safeguard air sovereignty and territorial integrity after persistent attacks on the government by Britain and the white Commonwealth countries. Minister Muchinguru Kashiri added that in 2019 and last year recorded an increase in cases of alleged abductions of opposition figures that were always blamed on state agents, despite such abductions always coinciding with world events or high-level visits to Zimbabwe, which made them suspicious. Efforts to investigate these alleged abductions have proved futile as the evidence either is tampered with or the concerned individuals refuse to cooperate with the investigating officers. Of late, the opposition, with the aid of their Western backers, have been planning demonstrations as a way of furthering their regime change agenda. Therefore, the security forces have no obligation to remain vigilant and nip such security vices in the bud, she said. The imposition of illegal sanctions on the country was also part of the broad agenda to cripple the economy and suffocate the government's revenue streams in a bid to eventually cause dissatisfaction in citizens, leading to mayhem in the regime change. The minister said the sanctions lead to high unemployment rates and shortages of basic commodities on the market. Such negativities also accumulated in increasing opposition forces against the government, which however successfully withstood the pressure. Although the move by foreign countries to relocate their businesses to neighboring countries negatively impacted on the government's ability to govern effectively, it also had a positive effect of enlightening the government on the need to have a local controlled economy as opposed to foreign controlled one, said Minister Muchinguru Kashiri. The West also used the media aggressively to demonize and tarnish the government's image through negative publicity through the use of global media houses such as BBC and CNN. Recently, some regional broadcasters were enlisted to attack Zimbabwe on allegations of human rights abuses, but when worse things happen in their countries, the media houses remain mum. Minister Mchunguru Kashiri said government responded by taking every opportunity at public gatherings and international conferences to correct the misinformation and lies planted by the Western media. Efforts were also made to have Zimbabwe expelled from the Kimberley Process Certification Scheme KPCS following discovery of diamonds in Manicaland amid lies that the diamonds were a product of human rights abuses. So this is what Minister Mchunguru Kashiri have said regarding to the West and advancing their regime change against Zimbabwe. Guys, do you agree with what the minister is saying here? And in the comment section, let's agree and disagree. And so few weeks ago and takaona the looting in South Africa and so many people were looting achora zvino say, and again there are so many people who died in that whole 4 or 5 days of looting. But we didn't hear anything from the US or Britain or sanctions or whatsoever. The guys were quiet. No one ever talked about it. And the president is going to be talking about it, or this guy says this guy. But the Western countries never said anything regarding to human rights abuses or whatsoever in South Africa. Maybe it's a different situation, but if that whole situation happened in Zimbabwe, I could tell you kuti dai zvakatoenda worldwide. And again, why America or Britain always interfere in those kind of situations compared to other countries. This is what Minister Mchunguru Kashiri is saying, kuti kuna dzimwe nyika pakatika mama scandals whatsoever, America or Britain, they don't talk about it, but if it happens in Zimbabwe, mutowana vachitopa front page, and again they'll be imposing more sanctions on top of other sanctions agara aripo. So if the West want a regime change in Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe momo. Remember kuti also in Zimbabwe, the US embassy here is the biggest embassy in Southern Africa. So why would they put the embassy, the biggest embassy in Zimbabwe, sanctions? It doesn't make sense. So behind the scenes, and so she talked about abductions there. So many people were abducted, and by now apana munhu atasungwa kana munhu one wachinoziva kunzi uyu suspect or suspect, because chechingonzi mota yacho ingasina manumber plate, vanhu vacho havasikumbozikanwa kunzi ndewapi. Then marumors aizongorerekera kungonzi ma-state security agency ndo abducta vanhu. So inyaya yekutoti we cannot finalize it singazivi kuti vacho vari kuita izvozvo ndovapi. It's either kuti ma-state security agency yayo kana kuti vatodawo vanhuwo zvavo ma-independent people who are hired to do these abductions. And so we really don't know about this. And again, she talked about human rights abuses. We always thought that maybe with this whole Second Republic things are gonna slow down or things are gonna end. But takona zvakana zvichiitika by security agencies kana mapurisa masoja vachirova vanhu mumalocations so many times. I mean, it has been broadcast on TV, on national TVs around the world about human rights abuses in Zimbabwe. So this is an open book. And I still feel kuti Minister Mchunguru Kashiri, of course, she's in the government, she's the Minister of Defense, and she's one of those people who will be saying, what, there are no human rights abuses in Zimbabwe because vanongacharo side rawa. And so guys, gatitore in the comment section. This is audio thoughts with Prince on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Inyaya, yatakagara tichungonzwa from way back since Mugabe time, yakunzanzi the West, they want a regime change in Zimbabwe. And nyayo ndo yakutoti is one of our main problems ekuti tichipangwa yakaoma kudai. So and it's because of manyaya yema-sanctions inotangira ipo panyaya yeminda nyaya yevarungu vakabva muno. We still feel kuti the way it was done panyaya yekutora minda, it wasn't done correctly. It was supposed to happen, but the way it happened, aiwa maitiro azvo zvakaitwa anga asina nyazomira mushe, ndo pakatangira nyaya yese ipapo. Since then we never recovered. It's almost like 2 decades and we've been suffering. And pakaipa guys, ngatitore in the comment section, do you think the West really wants a regime change? In the again nyaya wataura zvakare before I go, inyaya yekusponsor ma-opposition parties. We've heard this so many times when ma-activists vanatajamuka vanachichichi vanenge vachipuwa mari nema-Western countries. Ini nangu ipapo I do agree. So I do agree panyaya iyoyo because we've heard Promise Mkwanazi being accused of actually taking most of the money achisa muhomwe make and iye aitoramba zvake. And why are those groups achizongomuka during my election time or towards my election time? Lumega pamunyasooneka kuti some of these guys vanenge vatori mapockets at those western countries or whoever anenge ane agenda for a regime change in Zimbabwe. So some of these things that minister have said are true, but some of the things I don't agree, what she said regarding to this whole situation. But inangu ndomoni rangu andika ngatitore in the comment section there. This is all the thoughts with Prince on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Remember guys to subscribe to the channel and follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and also on our Facebook group, which is Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Thank you very much for listening and watching all the thoughts with Prince on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Do you think the West want a regime change in Zimbabwe? Kana kuti ZANU-PF or the government always try to blame the West for everything is bad happening in Zimbabwe? Kana it's just a way of politicians, making an excuse. We all know they are good at that. All the thoughts with Prince on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Bless them.